What if the way you've been touching yourself for years is actually harming your body after 60? It's a question almost no one dares to ask, but every man should. Here's the truth. Masturbation after 60 can be incredibly good for your health, or it can quietly work against you. It can strain your circulation, dull your nerves, even disrupt your hormones without you realizing it. Most men have no idea they're making simple mistakes. Mistakes that slowly cost them their sensitivity, their confidence, and sometimes even their desire. In this video, we'll reveal the 3 hidden mistakes older men make when it comes to self-pleasure, and more importantly, how to fix them, so you can protect your body, boost your energy, and actually enjoy this part of life again. This isn't about shame. It's about your health, your pleasure, your future. Let's dive in. So why does this even matter? Why should a man over 60 think twice about how he touches himself? The answer is simple. Because your body at 60 is not the same body you had at 20. As we age, skin becomes thinner. Nerves react more slowly. Blood vessels grow more delicate. What once felt effortless now needs more care. Ignoring that change is where many men run into trouble. But here's the good news. Masturbation itself is not only normal, it's healthy. Done right, it improves circulation, keeps your prostate nourished, lowers stress, and even helps you sleep better. It's one of the simplest ways to protect your health as you age. The problem isn't the act itself. The problem is how most men do it. They still treat their body like it's 25. When in reality, it's asking for something different now, slower, kinder, more mindful. And when you don't adapt, frustration sets in. Sensitivity dulls. Pleasure fades. Confidence in the bedroom takes a hit. That's why this matters. Because the way you touch yourself today can either strengthen your health or quietly work against it. And now it gets interesting. Because the first mistake most men make is so simple, they don't even realize it's destroying their pleasure. That mistake is rushing. Mistake number 1. Rushing. Here's the first hidden mistake almost every man over 60 makes. Rushing. It sounds harmless, right? But in reality, rushing through self-pleasure is like slamming the gas pedal while the engine is still cold. Your body simply isn't ready, and it pays the price. Think about it. When you rush, your nervous system stays on edge. Blood vessels tighten instead of opening. Your breathing turns shallow. Your muscles tense. And instead of sinking into pleasure, you train your body to connect touch with stress. The result? You finish quickly, but you don't feel satisfied. And worse, over time, arousal becomes harder to achieve. Sensitivity dulls. Intimacy starts to feel mechanical instead of natural. And here's the irony. The very thing that should relax you ends up leaving you frustrated. So what's the fix? Slow down. Give yourself a few extra minutes, take deep breaths. Treat this time as a signal to your body that it's safe to let go. Because when your body feels safe, blood flow improves, nerves reawaken, and real satisfaction returns. Rushing isn't just about speed, it's about ignoring what your body is really asking for. But here's the catch. Rushing isn't the only trap. The second mistake might be even more damaging, because it's not about speed at all. It's about pressure. Mistake number 2. Too much pressure. The second mistake is one that quietly steals pleasure from countless older men, using too much pressure. At first, it doesn't sound like a problem. In fact, many men believe the opposite. That the tighter the grip, the stronger the sensation. And as sensitivity fades with age, it's tempting. You squeeze harder. You move faster. You try to force your body to feel more. But here's the truth. The penis isn't built for that kind of treatment. It isn't just muscle. It's delicate tissue, filled with sponge-like blood vessels and nerves. And those nerves respond best to gentle, steady touch. When you use intense pressure again and again, something happens. The nerves get compressed. The tissue gets strained. And over time, your body learns to only respond to one very specific kind of stimulation. Some men even fall into what's been nicknamed death grip syndrome. That's when the hand becomes the only thing that works. Imagine that, years of conditioning yourself to need more and more pressure until natural intimacy with a partner feels dull or even impossible. The short-term effects might seem minor. A little soreness, some redness or irritation. easy to ignore. But the long-term effects are much bigger. Decreased sensitivity, difficulty reaching arousal, even tiny tears in the skin that make future pleasure less comfortable. Instead of feeling restored, you're left sore, tense, frustrated. So what's the fix? Start by easing up. Loosen your grip, even if it feels awkward at first. Give your body time to relearn gentler stimulation. If sensation feels weaker at first, don't panic. That's natural. Within weeks, nerves begin to wake up again. Arousal feels more natural, less forced. And here's a simple upgrade. Use a natural, fragrance-free lubricant. It reduces friction. It protects delicate skin. It allows blood to flow freely. Instead of fighting against your body, you're working with it.
Encouraging circulation, restoring sensitivity, making the whole experience more enjoyable. And here's the most important shift. Stop treating self-pleasure as a race. Think of it as a massage, a ritual that keeps your tissues healthy, your circulation alive, and your confidence strong. Because pleasure isn't something you wrestle out of your body. It's something you allow when the conditions are right. The truth is, your body doesn't need more force. It needs more patience. But even if you slow down, even if you ease up on pressure, there's one hidden mistake that can still sabotage your health and pleasure. And it has nothing to do with your body. It has everything to do with your mind.
Mistake number 3, ignoring emotions. The third mistake is the one most men never see coming, ignoring the emotional side of self-pleasure. We're taught to think of masturbation as something purely physical, a release, a quick way to relax, nothing more. But here's the reality. Your emotions and your hormones are deeply connected, and what you carry in your mind shows up in your body. For many older men, this shows up as shame. Maybe you grew up being told that touching yourself was dirty, weak, or something to hide. For others, it isn't childhood shame. It's the changes that come with age. Your body doesn't look the way it used to. It doesn't respond as quickly. And you may find yourself wondering, am I normal? Am I losing it? These quiet doubts feel small at first, but over time, they build tension. And that tension shows up in your breathing, in your blood flow, even in how your nervous system reacts to touch. When your emotions are tight, your body is tight. Instead of pleasure, you feel pressure. Instead of release, you feel frustration. And here's the truth. Emotions you bury don't disappear. They stay in the body, in your muscles, in your breath, even in the way your heart beats. If left unaddressed, they can turn into performance anxiety, disconnection from your partner, even a loss of desire altogether. Not because your body can't respond, but because your heart no longer feels safe in the experience. So what's the solution? Start with compassion. Remind yourself, this isn't about performance. You're not proving anything to anyone. This is about connection, healing, taking care of yourself in a deeply personal way. And if old shame or frustration creeps in, don't ignore it. Talk about it. That might mean a doctor, a therapist, or even a trusted friend. It takes real strength to admit when you need support. And believe it or not, just being honest with yourself about how you feel can be one of the most powerful steps toward restoring confidence. Because here's the truth. Self-pleasure isn't just physical. It's emotional. It's about self-respect. And when you let go of shame and replace it with curiosity and care, pleasure becomes deeper, healthier, and far more satisfying. Which brings us to the next step. If these are the mistakes, what does safe, healthy, and satisfying self-pleasure actually look like after 60?
Building a healthy routine. It starts with one simple shift. Treat it as self-care, not just release. When you see it as part of your health routine, everything changes. It strengthens you, instead of draining you. The first step is cleanliness. Always wash your hands first. If you use tools, cloths, or towels, keep them clean too. This isn't about being obsessive. It's about protecting delicate skin and avoiding irritation, something that becomes easier as we age. Next, set the stage. Create a space that feels private and calm. Turn off distractions. Put away your phone. Give yourself permission to be fully present. Even a few minutes of undisturbed focus can completely change the experience. Third, protect your skin. A natural fragrance-free lubricant isn't just about comfort. It reduces friction. It prevents soreness, and it helps blood flow more freely. Think of it as nourishment for your body. And most importantly, listen to your body. If you notice pain, tightness, swelling, or irritation, don't push through it. These signals can point to something deeper. It could be inflammation, circulation issues, or even prostate concerns. Paying attention now can save you from bigger problems later. When done with care, this routine turns self-pleasure from a habit into a practice that supports your prostate, protects your nerves, lowers your stress, and keeps you connected to your body as you age. And here's the surprising part. When you approach it this way, it doesn't just protect your health. It makes pleasure richer, deeper, and far more satisfying. Which leads us to the bigger picture. Because pleasure after 60 isn't fading, it's evolving into something even more powerful. Here's the truth most men never hear. Pleasure after 60 isn't fading, it's transforming. Too many men believe that getting older means losing their spark. But that's not true. It's not the end of intimacy. It's the beginning of a new phase. A phase where your body asks for something different. More care, more patience, more intention. And when you give yourself that, everything changes. What once felt like a quick release becomes something richer, deeper, almost meditative. Instead of chasing intensity, you discover connection. Instead of pressure, you find presence. And that presence doesn't just feel good in the moment. It ripples into your confidence, your energy, even the way you connect with a partner. Many men in their 60s and 70s rediscover intimacy with themselves in ways they never expected. This isn't regression, it's evolution. It's your body teaching you a new language. A softer, slower, but infinitely more satisfying language. And here's the best part. When you treat your body with that kind of respect, it responds. Circulation improves, nerves reawaken, desire doesn't vanish, it simply returns in a more sustainable form. So don't think of this as losing something. Think of it as unlocking a new chapter. Because you are not broken, you are not past your prime. You are entering a stage where pleasure can be more meaningful, more connected, and more rewarding than ever before. So let's bring this full circle. Masturbation after 60 isn't just about pleasure. It's about health, confidence, and connection. We uncovered the 3 biggest mistakes men make: rushing through the process instead of slowing down, using too much pressure, which dulls sensitivity over time, and ignoring emotions, which quietly erodes confidence and desire. And we talked about what works instead. Treating it as self-care, slowing down, using gentler touch, creating a safe space, respecting both your body and your emotions. Because when you do, pleasure doesn't disappear with age. It evolves into something deeper, something more nourishing, something more powerful. So here's the real takeaway. You are not broken. You are not past your prime. And your body is not done with you. You're simply entering a new chapter, one that can be more connected and more fulfilling than you ever expected. If this video gave you something new to think about, hit subscribe. Because your health still matters, your pleasure still matters,